Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live session. How was your day? How has it been? How have you enjoyed yourself? Oh, hi, Elle. How are you? I can see you coming live with me on Instagram. Would you like to hop on to YouTube? You can find the link in my bio and in my stories. I'm just coming on live here to remind everybody that we're live on YouTube. So come in, just join us live on YouTube. You can find the link up there. Okay, YouTube people, how are we doing today? This session was mostly for you. Oh, yes, today has been great. And I hope that this evening also is going to be great. Awesome. Yes, join on YouTube. The link is there in my bio and in my story. I think the link in my stories will take you there faster. So just join us on there and then we take it up from there. Yeah, it's going to be a great discussion. So yes, everybody, as we said, today we are here and you are very welcome if you're here live. For those of you that are joining in live, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come into the room. Tell your friends that we are live and let's get this session going. Today we're going to talk about what I promised to talk about was about how it is that we can earn income consistently, rental income consistently, as a Nigerian investor. And I'm promising you, my bold promise today would be that after this session, which should be give or take about 45 minutes, an hour, maybe if we have a lot of questions, would be the fact that if you are currently a landlord and you own property, or you are thinking about being a landlord or an investor in property, and you have questions, then this is where you would be learning what it is that you need to do and what it is that you actually need to do. So welcome to this session. If we can just start off by you telling us where it is that you're joining from. Instagram family, how are you? I only came on here to tell you that you should join on YouTube. The link is in my stories, and that's where you're going to be getting all the juice. Bellamy, how are you? Hi. Please join on YouTube so that we can actually all just have one session and I can shut this one down. I just came on here to just say it's happening on YouTube, guys. YouTube Live is where we're having the discussion. So join on there and let's have a nice chit chat. Hiya. We should really catch up and then see, how it is that you've been. I've been seeing your updates though. You are doing fine. Nice to see you too. Join on YouTube. Let's continue this on YouTube. Join on YouTube. Join on YouTube. All right, people. So let's do this. And let's see, where is it that you are joining from? Tell me in the comments where it is that you are joining from, and let's get started. So tell me where it is that you're joining from. Tell me whether you are already a property investor, or whether you're not, or whether you are thinking about it. Just tell me in the comment section so that we can actually get this party moving. Yes. So whilst we wait for comments about that, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. Please put away all distractions. Everything that you think that may distract you for the next 1 hour tops, just put on pause, put on hold, grab a pen and paper, a notebook actually, because you are definitely going to want to take notes. There will be no replaying for long. I think what will happen would be that we'll leave the replay for about 24 hours. So that people who couldn't meet this live because it was quite impromptu could join in and catch it. 24 hours only, guys. And after 24 hours, it gets pulled down, and then it goes into the community. I will tell you a lot more about the community later on in the video and the session, and you then decide if you want to join. And if you want to join, I just may have a special offer for you to be able to join, because that's a paid community, guys. People on my mailing list have already gotten their own offer. So after this session, I'll make an offer, similar one, maybe not the same one that they're getting, but at least we'll make an offer. And then you can decide whether you're going to join, and always get replays like this, because these are going to be very, very in-depth learning sessions, not the top of the mill, run of the mill information that it is that you would get anywhere and everywhere. We're going to sit down in each of these sessions and break down each one. Anyway, after today's session, you would decide on your own whether you think that it's valuable enough for you to want to join. So let's just get started with this. Okay, Ali, I see you. Okay, yes, no, not yet. This is just a message. Right. So what is it that you would say has been a challenge? If you were asked, what would be one challenge it is that you have had around renting of properties, or renting out your property? Let's put it like that, because today we're not talking about tenants, we're talking about property owners. So property owners, what is one thing that you would say that you have a challenge with? Please drop it in the comments. Tell me, this is supposed to be an interactive session, the same as it would be if we were having an IG live. So make a comment, drop a comment, tell me. I'm still waiting to hear where you're joining from. So whilst you're saying where it is that you're joining from, let us also know what is a challenge that you have experienced with being able to rent out your property. Yes. Oh, you're in Lagos. Ele, that's not fair. You're in Lagos. Okay. All right. Anyway, we'll talk after this. Oh, nice to know you're in Lagos. Yay. Okay, so that's fine. So tell me, have you had an experience where you've had a challenge with a property? No, let's start from this. Are you thinking about property, or are you already invested in property? So what are your fears around that? Let's start from there. I wouldn't want to put you on the spot too much with saying what have been your challenges with renting out your property, but what have been the thoughts that you've had? As someone who said, okay, invested already, nice. So have you considered renting it out? What have been your thoughts of challenges or perceptions around that? Invested already, nice. I like that. Investors actually come with a whole different mindset. So yes, please tell me, that has been a thought. Awesome. Right. So what would be your fear? What is your biggest fear? What's your biggest fear with if you were to rent out the property and all of that? Because people who invest in Nigeria are actually worried, and this is actually something that is real, which is why it's a topic for today. So what has been that thought? What has been that thing that you think and you say, oh no, I don't think this is gonna work, or I think this is gonna work? Which one? Oh, okay. The fear of people bringing down the quality of what you've put up. Absolutely. That is definitely and absolutely a real fear. And it's actually one of the key reasons why a lot of people who try to go into rental properties would say, nah, or they would be like, oh, this is what I'm afraid of. How do we protect against it and all of that? But today we're going to definitely touch on that. So thank you so very much, Ele, for sharing. And I hope that by the end of this session that you would actually feel more confident to be able to go ahead with your property or to better protect yourself. So I'm going to start off with a little story about some people who actually went into this. And I had two clients, and they said, oh, that they wanted to go into rental properties. They wanted to first start off from buying the rental property, and then they were going to put it up for rent. So they were new to the opportunity. They were new to the business, and they wanted to go in. They came up, and we started off by first searching. And when we did end up finding options, there were multiple options on the table, because that's essentially what is the best thing. I'll give you multiple options and then you can choose. However, in the first stage of our meeting and our consult, because there'll always be that consulting call where I would sit with you and I would understand what it is that you need in terms of what you want to be able to achieve. And then we'll try to use that to streamline what it is that we're looking for. Now, both of them, we knew that all they wanted were properties that could make at least a certain amount of money. And when we went into the market, I would say Mr. A went with a 3-bedroom terrace, and Mr. B went with a 2-bedroom flat. Hi, Tokbe, how are you? Yeah, I know you're in Lagos. It's really nice to have you here. Yes. Oh wait, have you changed base? Have you changed base? Yes. So anyway, guys, as I was saying, so Mr. A went with a 3-bedroom terrace, and Mr. B went with a 2-bedroom flat. Now, here's the thing: the 3-bedroom terrace, it was a beautiful property. It was going to be completed in 5 months from when it was that we were investing. And the price was obviously a bit higher than the 2-bedroom flat. It was in a developing area. And I'm explaining all of this because there's certain details that I want to share, and I want you to be able to understand for context when I now start to talk about what it is that you need to do. And so property, Mr. A's property was a 3-bedroom terrace. It was in a developing area. It was pretty, and it was nice. It was like that place that you'd be like, oh yes, this is pretty. Now, Mr. B's property was a 2-bedroom flat. It was going to be delivered in 9 months from when it was that we were. So this is the 9th month. We're in the 9th month. I'm talking about something that's happening right now. So it's going to be delivered in the 9th month. And the 9th month, he could have spread his payments and all that. That was a different ballgame. But anyway, the costs were not the same. The 2-bedroom was slightly cheaper than the 3-bedroom. But when you look at it, so let me put numbers to it. He got the 2-bedroom at 50 by the time we negotiated, and they got the 3-bedroom at 75 million. By the time we completed everything, it was 75 million. Now, Mr. A decided that he was going to also stretch himself and do 2 units of the 3-bedroom. So that's 150 million, right? Now, Mr. B decided that he was only going to do 2 units of the 2-bedroom, which was 100 million. So their initial budgets were 100 million. Mr. A decided to stretch. That's a different ballgame. Now, they both have 2 units of apartments. Mr. A's apartment was ready in 4.5 months. He took possession in 4.5 months. We cleaned it up and did all of that. It was ready to be let out in 5 months from when it was that they were investing. That was like 3 months ago from now. Now, because of where it is, Mr. A has still not rented out his property. So he's still waiting for the right offer, the right person, and all of that. However, Mr. B's property, which is not completed, it is still in construction. We're still like constructing and all of that. We're going to finish end of this month. But he already has 3 offers on the property. Now, they're not yet offers that he feels are the best price, but he has 3 offers which are very close to what it is that he wants. If I were to ask you that are here, Who would you rather be, Mr. A or Mr. B? I want to see who's listening, who's still here, and who has been following before I go into the session. So, who would you rather be, Mr. A or Mr. B? Mr. A invested, stretched himself and invested and got his property in 4 months. In 5 months, sorry. Mr. B is getting his property in 9 months, but he already has offers on his property. Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Yeah, you have still in Lagos. Great. Okay. Ah, sorry. So the network cut off. Okay. But who would you rather be, Mr. A or Mr. B? Who would you rather be? Who would you rather be? No, not at all. No trick question. It's just, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, right? I mean, it just, aligns with what it is that we're trying to talk about today, earning rental income consistently. Because there's a difference. There's a difference between earning rental income and there's a difference between earning rental income consistently. And that's where we're going to. So it's no trick question. Okay, Tucker says that you'd like to be Mr. B for sure. Okay. That means you like your assurances. That's good. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. You can be a property owner, you can earn rental income, but whether you earn rental income consistently will always be a different ballgame. And the name of the for somebody who wants to be sure of being able to one maximize how much it is that they are earning or be able to get as much return and faster, your goal should be to be able to earn rental income consistently. So earning income today or for the first 1 year and then not earning for the next 6 months is going to be haphazard. It's going to pain you as an investor, which also would mean that the chances or the amount of money it is that you're going to be able to make would always be less. So that's why we're having this discussion today, which is about you being able to earn rental income consistently. The trick here is as a property owner is to be able to to earn rental income consistently. So let's get started with today's session. Now, since we have started off from this point, in this example and all, you've actually already started the learning. So you've learned that the first thing that you want to be able to do as a property owner would be to earn income consistently. Somebody who earns income consistently, vis-a-vis somebody who earns income here and there, your chances are that the person who earns consistently would have better options. The person would very probably be more known, would be more reckoned with. The person would have a place that more people will talk about. The person would even, by the time the person compounds everything that it is that the person has made, then the person would see that they've actually made more money than the person who has not. Also, as a property owner, you know that the longer it is that your property stays unoccupied, that you would always have to do touch-ups and you'd always have to do check-ins and all of that before another person goes in. All of those things cost you extra money, especially when it comes to property management. So you want to be able to keep your cost, operational management, and turnover as low as possible as a property owner. So that would be lesson or point number one, or tip number one, or strategy number one. Let's call them strategies. So we've learned the first strategy of the evening. That's the first one. Strategy two would be that you need to be able to know your market. So, as a property owner, I always say it, um, your research, your due diligence is always what's going to set you apart. If you have a realtor who's going to help you to do this due diligence and this market research and all of that, make sure that you are asking all the questions. Your realtor can help you. A good realtor will actually help you because that realtor would have your interest at heart, and the person would be interested to say, how do I ensure that you actually are going to be able to earn this money? Now, for people who would say, oh, I don't trust my realtor and I want to be able to do it by myself, then yes, by all means, please do it by yourself. But things that you want to be able to check on when you're doing it by yourself are this. One, how frequently do people already ask for that location? For somebody who wants going to rental properties, unless there's a new market that you're trying to get into, then you have to look for the ready market. You have to look for the people that are ready to take on your property so that your property does not wait. The longer it is that your property is waiting and people see, oh, nobody has rented it, they come back and then they start trying to price you. So if you had said you had fixed a price of 4 million on your property and then nobody is renting it at 4 million, people who think that, oh, they can come and negotiate you down to 2.8 will come and try to negotiate you down to 2.8. And God forbid that you are at that point in time pressed for cash, you will then find that you are probably considering buckling to take that 2.8, because in your mind at that point you're already getting frustrated and you're already like, is anybody going to come and rent this property off of me? And then you're thinking, oh, let me give it out, at least I will be making something. Making something works, and that also helps, but then make something that you know that you are the one who is setting the price, as against you taking whatever it is that is coming. Because by the time you have set that 2.8, chances are that you're not going to be able to push up to 4 million anytime soon. So what you've done is that you have short sold yourself, and you've also short sold the value of your property. So that is something that you do not want to have to do as a property owner, because long term these things will apply as challenges. So that is point number 2. Point number 3 would be to understand what your stretch limit would be. And I'll explain. For example, this person who wanted to get his property faster because he felt, oh, he could start to earn money, he did not consider the fact that his property would stay unrented for a certain period in time. And if when he was getting that money, he had stretched himself saying, oh, okay, I'm going to start earning rent, or I'm going to start doing this, and then I can start to pay you back, or whatever it is, or he had just really banked on that money, he would be in trouble, because it means that he has short circuited his opportunities to be able to earn rental income in that time frame. Not earning rental income in that time frame reduces his income, reduces his cash flow, and in the long term, it also reduces his credit if he was going to be thinking about having one in the long run. So, as a property owner, you want to ensure that, one, you understand the market, two, you understand your own time stretch, and three, you understand what it is that your property should go for. Now, point number 4 would then be, what would be your um, lowest amount? What would be your lowest rent? What is that amount that, if your property is not rented consistently, that you would then be able to say, oh, okay, I can do a promotion or an offer and give out my property at this price? What would you have to do? What would that price be? You have to know that price before you even go into the market. Now, why am I explaining all of these things? There's this thing about expectations as a property investor. And when you have invested and you have such high expectations for how much it is that you are going to be able to earn for your property, and you then don't earn that amount of money, chances are that you're not going to want to invest again. You're going to feel like it's not working. You're going to feel like, no, this is not a viable option for you. Whereas the truth of the matter with people who invest in property is that the biggest benefit is the fact that they invest consistently and they are investing for the long term. So if you're going to go into it, you want to, as much as possible, ensure that that one property is at least hitting 80, 85, 90% success rate in terms of what it is that it is bringing back, or the expectations that you had of the property, so that you as the investor can keep going. Because there's this thing about the mindset that if one thing is not working, chances that you want to try it again are going to be slimmer. Yes, we've seen people who would try it again and they'll say, okay, I'm not going to go this way, but they are very few, because you're thinking, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of capital that I have had to put into it. So you want to go into the property rental opportunity knowing that you are able to earn as much as possible in every single instance that your property is available for rent. So if you're still here, please just let me know that you're still here and I'm not talking to um, myself or the cameras and all of that. If anything that I have said has resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, or you can relate to any of the information or the 4 strategies that I have shared, then please, please, and please do just drop a 1 or a yes or something in the comments, in the chat, and let me know that at least you are following. If you have a question, now would be a very good time for you to chip it in before I go into, oh, hi, Z Star. I hope that I got that right. Z Star. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Okay, you said a 1 and you get that. So Tokwa says yes. I'm seeing yes. Great. Okay, thank you so very much. So now let's talk about so since we've talked about the what's, now let's talk about the hows. And I'm going to talk about the how that it is that you can do 2 things. And one of them is going to touch on the fear that was raised earlier on in the session. And I'm going to put it back up on the screen where Ella says that she has the fear of clients bringing down the value of the property. So we're going to talk about the how for this, and we're also going to talk about the how it is that you will be doing your market research for the property. Because it's not enough for you to understand or know what it is that you should do. If you don't do it correctly, then chances are that you're not going to get it right. And today I'm going to tell you, what and how it is that you can do it. So we're going to start off with clients, tenants. How do you get the right tenants for your property? Now, people believe that, oh, they can list their property, they can ask an agent to go get get them clients, and then they meet the client and then they have a discussion and they tell them, oh, this is how much I want for my property. That's the very short version. That's the very unprofessional way of going about it, because you almost get no feel of who that person is. How do you know who you're giving your property to? So think about it like a relationship that you're going to have, or a friendship. You want to know who it is that you're making your friend, because by the time that you are a property owner and you're having tenants, then those tenants are becoming your friends, quote and unquote, because they are going to be living in your property. So you want to ensure that they're going to take care of your property. And how do you do that? You do that by getting to know them. Now, a very simple process that many people, and this is myself included, would be that we would, number one, have a tenant KYC form. So the same way that you'd go into a bank and then you would fill out a KYC form, which would have information like your name, where you work, maybe even a reference from your former landlord or the landlord for where you're staying, or a family member or somebody that you respect, So there would always be on that form, there would always be one, somebody that we can reach that you respect. So it will be an elderly person, somebody who can vouch for you or something. There would also be where you work, so at least we know where you work. If we need to look for you, we know where we're looking for you. Or if we need to be able to pass information out to people, somebody, and say, oh, this has not happened. So think about, in case of emergency, that type of information would always come in, very important. So these are some of the information that we have. But other information that we also have on the form would be why you're leaving your former place. Why are you moving from place A to place B? Why do you want to be able to change location? And we will then look at where you are staying, how much it was that rent probably was, and why. If you're jumping to a new grade, the question then will be, why are you jumping up to a new grade? Yes, it sounds very intrusive, but these are conversations that have to be had for us to be able to know that, one, the person who is paying for the property in this instance can actually pay for it the next year or the next time, and two, that the person is confident enough to even be able to talk about him or herself. Somebody who has an insecurity would then go on the defensive and be like, why are you asking all these questions? No, I don't feel safe with you, and none of that. Uncle, sister, what do you have to hide that you're saying that you don't want us to know where you work, or you want us to know what? One, this information is for your own protection. Two, it is also for our own security. We are entrusting our property into your hands. Now, all this information is kept very, very confidential, so that it's not a case of, oh, you now find your information flying up and down. No. The information that includes where you are staying, where you're staying, where you work, and all of that would be information that we would also go and verify, because we want to be able to know that you've given us information that is panning out correctly, and we can trust you that you are telling the truth. So it's not a wish-wash process of, oh, you just get somebody off the street and the person says, oh, I saw your advert that you have a property. I want to, how much is it? Okay, yes. Can I come and see it? Yes. Oh, can I say, oh, yes, I like it. I'm paying. Give me account number. No, it's not the money that is going to be the focal point. It is the nature and the mindset of the person that is coming into your property that is most important for us. Because for us, your property is an asset. It's an asset that we know that has to remain for you to keep earning money. If in year one they stay in it, it's fine. Year two, somebody stays in it and damages it. That means that the rents that you had collected in probably year one and year two is what you would use to repair it, and then you're back to ground zero. That's no way to run business. That's no way to be able to run your business consistently and look for growth. So when you are a property owner, you're not only looking for how much rent am I taking, but you're also looking for people that are going to help you maintain the value of your property, which brings us back to the fear that Ele had about that. And Ele, if you're still on the call, okay, yes, I see that you're still on the call. And I want to say that your fear is valid, because we have a lot of people who don't necessarily care for how it is that they use people's property. They come in with the mindset of, oh, we have paid for the property, so I can do what I want. It's not an option. I have clients who are renting out their properties and they say you cannot nail anything on the wall. If you put in a nail, when you're leaving, you would have to block it, you would have to plaster it and paint it back. I have clients like that. They have stipulated all of this in their terms and contracts and in their rental contract. So after we have done the KYC on the tenant, you will then go on to ensure that your rental contract is foolproof. And this is where we bring in the lawyers to actually help us to draft this out. Yes, there is a basic template for it. But then the terms and conditions of each point would always vary per property. Now, in the case where we are managing or looking out for various property owners, maybe in a complex where all the properties kind of are like the same. And I'm bringing this up because last year we worked on a turnkey property, which was 22 units of apartments. And some of the owners actually bought for themselves, most bought for investment. And what they then did was that they put some of them into a short-let program that we had, and some of them have gone on to do annual rentals. The contracts were different because each and every person will then have what their own terms and conditions are. The person who says, I'm renting it out to you on a monthly basis has those terms. The person who says, I'm renting it out to you on an annual basis has those terms. The person who says, oh, I am renting it to you on a quarterly basis has those terms. Some clients even are rented out on an annual basis, but it's a furnished property. Now, that type of client also has the terms that says that you have to allow us to come and clean the apartment on a monthly basis. Now, why would we do that to say, why would we put in that type of a clause? That type of a clause ensures that every time we are going in to clean, we are seeing the things that are in the property. We're seeing if things are damaged. We're seeing if the curtains have gotten burns or tears or stuff like that, so that they can be flagged immediately. It's not enough for us to say, for you as a property owner to say, I've taken a security deposit. There are certain things that your security deposit will not cover. And then you will then be the one that's having to cough up that money. So you have to be very careful about these things. Now, that's on the side of the property management. Now, let's come to the side of the services that go with your property. With your tenant, because it's a two-way sword, I like to say, where you are interviewing the tenant. The tenant has the right to interview you also, because you want to understand whether there's a marriage, whether you both agree, because you're now two people that are coming together. So the tenant has to be able to say, yes, I'm comfortable with what it is that you're offering me. You have to say, I'm comfortable with what it is, who you are, for me to be able to give you my property. So you want to also ensure as a property owner that you at least have services that are commensurate with, one, the rent that you want to be able to charge, and two, with the offer that you have made for the tenant. If you're saying that it's a serviced apartment or if it's a serviced flat, please ensure that it is actually serviced and you're able to provide those services. Because the minute that you start defaulting on those services, then just be sure that your tenant is going to look for an alternative and would either start defaulting on service charges or would start to look for ways in which that they would install the elements that are going to help them to provide those services in the property. Are we there? Are we still following? Please let me know if you're still following. Not to worry, we're almost done. We're just done with this point, and we're just going to touch on the last point. Oh wow, Ella, you deserve a prize. Or you're like responding consistently. You deserve a prize. Don't worry, I will give you one. Okay, so now we're just going to talk on the second point of how it is that you can actually do the research for how much it is that your property should be. Now, this is important because, oh, yes, you are. Yeah, so let's talk now about how much it is that, how you would choose the price of your rental property. Now, because property owners tend to get sentimental about their investment and about the property, they come and then they say, oh, this property is so fine, it should be able to attract a certain amount, and they mention one really huge amount of money, and they say, oh, I know somebody that is charging that in the area. That somebody else is charging the same, that high amount that you want to charge, does not necessarily mean that you also should come in and you should charge the same thing, because there will be differences between yours and that person's own, and it's only if that person's property is not up to par with yours that you should be trying to look for how to match that price. And I'll make an example. A client once said, oh, my property is in Ikate, yeah, and wanted to use it for shortlets and all. It was an oldish building, and the furnishing was not so modern. It was just okay, it was cozy, homely type of thing, not so modern and all of that. Pictures were going to definitely show that it was not the, flashy, very tushy thing that a lot of people are used to in terms of shortlets. And then he says, oh, I want 70K per night. And I went, sorry, sir, what? You said what? 70K. How? And that is the beauty of having a realtor or someone who understands the market to work with you. Because it's immediately that I was like, that's not going to work. It may work one, two, three, four times and all of that. But if you're looking for consistent rental income, that's not going to work. There are two things that have to happen when you're going to look for consistent income. Get the right tenant, make sure that your property is suitable to that person, and then you set the right price. Sorry, there are three things. So you get the right tenant, make sure that your property has the right services, and the third one is that your price has to be proper. Your price has to be right. Because if your price is not right, people will pay you one-offs. They'll pay you intermittently, but then they will not pay you consistently. Somebody who will pay you consistently may start to look for the extra that it is that you're going to continue to look out for when it is that you're going to then go into it. So those are the ways that it is. So now, how do you know how much it is that your rental property should be? Again, market research. If possible, try and find out what it is that's the going rate in the area. Try and find out what those properties have, what they entail, what they're like. Find the ones that kind of like match with what your property is: age, design, finishing, fittings, all of that. Everything matters. Services that are offered, the lifestyle, because as a rental property, you need to be able to imagine how the life of the person that is going to stay in your property would be. The more comfortable, the more suitable, the more conducive that person actually tends to be, the higher the chances that you're going to be able to get them to pay you the amount that it is that you want, and consistently too. Because when people are comfortable in your space, nobody's going to want to move. I hate moving. I know a lot of people that work, especially, that hate moving. Or, I mean, think about it. If you move into a place today and you stay there 6 months and all of that, chances are that in 6 months, you probably have not even finished making the space your home, especially if you're doing it yourself. So people don't necessarily like moving. So the longer it is, the people can stay, the more comfortable people can be, then that will give you the higher chances of them actually paying you again and again and again. When people think of housing, they think of it in almost the same light as they think of food. If food doesn't meet their taste, their preference, chances are they will not go back to the same place. Or would you go back to the same place if you were not fulfilled by the food that it is what you were eating or anything? I doubt it. So you need to be able to think of these things in the same realistic manner as this, so that at least you can, exactly, no way, you won't go back. You would be like, nah, that food was not it, because you went for the fulfillment. It's the same thing with housing. People want to stay in houses that actually work for them. So when the house doesn't work, then your rent is not coming back. And that's just a fact. It's not a case of, oh, people need the houses. People need the houses. They will go and take other options. Competition will come and take your food away from your mouth. So that is just the truth about it. Now, a bonus point that I want to be able to tell anybody who is not invested already and wants to look for where it is that they can go and invest in. So now I've talked to people who own property, people who are, just starting out with a certain property. You're invested. So you're done. You need to understand what best it is that you need to be able to do. But now I want to talk to people who are not yet invested and are thinking about going into an investment or anything. If you want to do that and you want to do that successfully, don't go into the higher end market. Come into more of the mass market where there is a whole lot more people, middle income people, millennials, people who are young, upcoming. They want to live comfortably, but there are not many options for comfortable places that they can stay in. People who are saying, "Oh, I'm fine with a one bedroom cute thing." No, that they're fine with that. They will take care of your one bedroom properly compared to somebody who is looking for a four-bedroom mansion. And chances are that by the time you have that budget for the four-bedroom, you will then be spending that budget of a four-bedroom on 4 or 5 units of this one-bedroom, sometimes even a two-bedroom, depending on the area, depending on how it is that you get into the property purchase, depending on what stage of the investment it is that you get started in. So the acquisition or the decision for where and how it is that you want to start is going to be a very good way that you will actually be able to say, this is how I'm going to make it work for me. So people who have not started, please forget those big units. If you drive through, so let me not even use Ikoyi, for example, because that one's on a different level. If you drive through Lekki, for example, you will find a good number of places that are putting out to let signs. When you drive through places like Yaba and Surulere, and you look for and you look for 1, 2 bedrooms, you will not find to let waiting because those properties fly off the market. So that is where the difference in looking for places or options that are in demand and looking for options that are alike would come into play. So right now, the opportunity that exists right now, this is 2023, August and all of that. The opportunities that exist right now are for those that are into smaller apartments, smaller, more modern. You're targeting the middle income. You're targeting the up and coming people, people who are looking for places that they can rent. And if you're then going to be if you then think that you want to fully optimize it, think about going on monthly rentals, because with monthly rentals, you know that it is, if you're not working, I kick you out. If it's not working, we end the contract. But somebody who has paid you for a whole year has to stay the year plus the extra that the law requires for that person to stay, either to find a place or for your notice of eviction to actually count. So I hope that I have touched on as many points that would satisfy both ends of the equation. Zista, yes, thank you so much. You say preach. I'm not sure I'm preaching, but I appreciate the comment. Yes. But so right now, I just want to say, if there is somebody who is looking to invest right now and would like the opportunity to be able to consistently earn income and probably not even have to do all of this work, then you are definitely going to want to join our investment community, where we not only help to make all of this type of information available to you, which is why I said there's not going to be a replay. The replay of this is only going to stay on for a very limited duration, 24 hours at the maximum, so that people who directly missed this and had tried to join in, or maybe they missed it, would then be able to come on and watch it. But after that 24 hours, the video is going to be pulled down, it's going to be unlisted, and it's going to be uploaded into the community as part of the learning of the media library. In the community, what we have is we have people who are interested in investing in real estate, and they are then allowed to be amongst a network of people that are of like minds, people who want to understand property investing in real estate. They want to be able to do it. Sometimes they even co-invest in projects. We have co-investment offers that are open, so people can actually come and invest into these options with lower than ₦1 million. So think about owning a piece of a property for less than ₦1 million, and these are all things that you can do in the community. The community is membership driven. And Ella, when I was saying that I owe you a gift, the gift that I'm going to give you is a membership. So membership is on a yearly basis. So because you have been the most engaged person here on the session, you are going to be getting a membership for 1 year. Z-Star, yes, currently membership is 25,000 per year. But that price is actually going to go up very soon. I think towards the end of August. Which means that because I have another book that is coming out. So once that book comes out and it's actually is out, then that price of the community would also be going up. So if you want in also, Z-Star, please just let me know. Or no, you know what? Let me just drop where you should go to. So I'm going to drop the link here. So go here. Z-Star, you can just go here, and then you would be able to sign up. So you can go here, you can basically create an account, and all of that. But for you to be able to get access to all this learning material and all of that, which would also push that one live in about 2 weeks. We're just cleaning up the setup of the community back end. So once that is done in like 2 weeks, everybody will be given access into videos. There are already enough videos, or a number of videos there, that I have been recording over time to put into the community. And then there would also be learning sessions. There would be interactive sessions in the community outside of all the ones that I do outside on on my page, or content on my page and on my channels are always going to be free. But in the community, where you would have access, you'd be able to ask specific questions and literally get mini consultations, and be able to also interact with other people. You get access to investment deals before they even come out on the market, and all of that. So yes, the community is a really interesting place. If you do decide to come on, I would really be glad to welcome you. So that's the website that you can go to, and you can start to get signed in for 25K. Ella, yes, you are very, very welcome. I appreciate you for being so engaged and all of that on the channel. I hope that your investment actually does work out. Since you're going to come into the community, I'm very sure that you would be able to learn so much more about how it is that you can make sure that your property is in safe hands and it is thriving, especially. Another thing is that in the community, you'd also be able to get access to things like checklists and things like that. So yes, where you would probably be having to pay for things like agreements and contracts and stuff like that, they would always come at subsidized rates to people that are in community. So just think about the community as this place where you get access and you get discounts on everything investing in real estate, to be able to create the wealth that helps you to live the life that you want. That's essentially what we're trying to do. And we're hoping that you and everybody who is interested will be able to join. So Z-Star, I hope that you will see you on the other side of in the community, and that you will continue to learn. Today, we've come to the end of today's section. I hope that it has been resourceful. I hope that it has been helpful. Actually, Is the community a standalone off social media platforms? Yes, it is. It's a standalone. So the community has its, I mean, it literally has its own space where you are on. So it's literally like, so think about it like you having like a closed community. So you know how like on Facebook they're closed groups and things like that. So it's off of social media. So if you're not a social media person, then that's fine. You can be in the community and not have. So it's not dependent on Instagram or any stuff like that. All of that. We have a platform where everybody would go and they would sign in. They would come in. So you literally go in. You have a dashboard. You have the different rooms and all of that. It's really beautiful. And I mean, I'm really hoping that we would be able to make it even so much more engaging and all. We also would be having physical events from time to time, which would either be free for members of the community or would also come at like highly discounted rates for the community. But I mean, these are all things that we would be able to do as we grow. So yes, please, I mean, take advantage of the 25K. This 25K is going to be the cheapest it's ever going to be. Like as I'm just and I'm saying I'm watching high that stay 25K, but I understand. But it's fine. So just take advantage of 25K. 25K is for a whole year. So you would have sessions like this. Imagine having access to learnings and interactions and things like this and so much more for a whole year for 25K. If you were ever going to pay somebody for it, I'm very sure that you would pay so much more. And let's leave what it is that you get on social media. I mean, out of it, whatever you get on social media, think about that's times two, three, four, five, a lot of times, what it is that you'll be getting in the community. So take advantage of it and sign up and subscribe to it. I see that you're actually quite interested in real estate. So it'd be really great to have you on the other side of the of the community and in the engagement. Thank you so very much for everybody who has joined into this session. If you're watching the replay, I hope that you also get as much value as the people who have been here live and have asked questions and engaged would be able to have. You can drop your comments down in the comment section if you're watching the replay before it gets pulled down, and I will try to answer them as soon as they are on there. But if you're not and you are looking to join the community, then you would also be getting the notes which would go out on my channel in the post that part where you post something on the channel. It will go on there. You'd get all the information about how it is that you can join the community or you can get access to this. But till next time, bye. Have a good evening, everyone.